So I asked the Lord, what would he even have me say before I gave my yes to today? And he said, commune. Come commune with me. From the beginning to the end, the Word sets a physical table with bread and wine as the place where God and man meet. In the garden, in the tabernacle, the temple, the Passover, the Last Supper, and the Supper of the Lamb. It wasn't until I moved overseas that I realized the depth of communion. I grew up going to church all my life. I went to private school. I took communion on Communion Sunday, and it was about the wafer and the little cup of juice, always. And as I moved into my relationship with the Lord, my eyes were opened to forgiveness. And he led me into forgiving all of the people that had hurt me and allowed me to receive the forgiveness that he had for me. But there's more than just forgiveness. When I moved overseas, the Middle Eastern culture also just brought it to life to me in a new way. I feel like the mindset there is lost here in America, or that we take it for granted, or that it's just completely misunderstood altogether. But the Lord just led me into this reverence of him and understanding exactly what it was that he did for me and for you and for the world. And so as I spent time communing with him, I went on this rabbit trail, and it makes it really hard to write notes, bullet point notes, when you go on a rabbit trail, because you want to cover all of the things. And so in my mind right now, I have this giant spider web of communion, and then all of the little sidebars of, wow, did you know it means this? And did you know this does this? And I want to communicate it from my heart well to you. So, Lord, please help me. You probably already know this, and it makes complete sense, and I felt kind of silly when I looked up the Greek word for communion. But do you know? Do you know what the word is? It's Wednesday night, guys. It is koinonia. And I just kind of sat there with that and was like, huh. That makes so much sense. And so when you interweave Eucharist and koinonia together, it creates this beautiful picture of what every gathering we participate in should be and should look like. A thanksgiving devoted to God that unites us to Christ and with each other as a single body. And through this outward physical expression, it inspires and empowers believers to live out koinonia every day, which he says all over the word. Acts 2:42 through 47. They were continually devoting themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone kept feeling a sense of awe, and many wonders and signs were taking place through the apostles. And all those who had believed were together and had all things in common, and they began selling their property and possessions and were sharing them with all, as any one might have need, day by day, continuing with one mind in the temple and breaking bread from house to house. They were taking their meals together with gladness and sincerity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord was adding to their number day by day those who were being saved. I was just really convicted in my relationships with my children, my relationships with you, my relationships with strangers that I encounter in my day-to-day, that as I invite you into my home, as I have meals with my children, am I coming to the table with this mindset that I am only at this table because of his sacrifice, because of the blood that was spilled out for me? And am I representing that thankfulness, that gratitude in those, and I'll just keep it with my children, in those meals with my children? Do they see this heart reverent to the Lord? Do they have this deep understanding of what God has done, because that is what I'm representing with every crumb that I put into my mouth? And when I reflect on the times that we've had intentionally had people over to commune with them, my heart posture is in a different place. Like, I'm praying all week leading up to that meal. I'm asking the Lord, what would you have me say? So my heart posture is different than when I wake up at 6:30 to make a fried egg for my children. And so as I sit with these people, my heart posture is that they may know Jesus on a completely different level than before they came in, that they leave experiencing Jesus, seeing Jesus, knowing, feeling him as they commune with us. And was convicted, like, am I doing that with my children? And he encouraged me to just, little by little, start tweaking that in my relationships with them, with you, and with others. That if I can go into this daily, if I can commune with him daily and come to the table with him daily as I commune with you, there is revelation for you to receive through the salvation that you have also received. There are some things with my children where it's like I can say the same thing over and over and over, and there is no revelation for them. And but as I commune with him, and as I let him be represented in my heart posture, in my reverence, that revelation takes place in my children without me saying, did you do. They see it, they understand it in a much deeper way than I could ever teach it. We didn't receive salvation to be saved from the pits of hell, even though that's how it is taught in most churches. We receive salvation to be heaven on earth, to be indwelled by Jesus, and to take our rightful place as kings and priests. We are kings and priests, yes? I might have done this a little bit backwards, but in Luke 24, this was the verse that he gave me that really kind of set the whole bunny trail going. Verse 13, and behold, 2 of them were going that very day to a village named Emmaus, which is about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and they were talking with each other about all the things which had taken place. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself approached and began traveling with them, but their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. Why? And he said to them, "What are these words that you are exchanging with one another as you are walking?" And they stood still, looking sad. One of them, named Cleopas, answered and said to him, "Are you the only one visiting Jerusalem and unaware of the things which have happened here in these days?" And he said, "What things?" And they said to him, "The things about Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word, in the sight of God and all the people, and how the chief priest and our rulers delivered him to the sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that it was he who was going to redeem Israel. Indeed, besides all this, it is the 3rd day since these things had happened. But also some women among us amazed us. When they were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body, they came, saying that they had also seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just exactly as the woman had said. But him they did not see. Why? And he said to them, "O foolish men, and slow of heart to believe in all the prophets that have spoken. Was it not necessary for Christ to suffer these things and to enter into his glory?" Then, beginning with Moses and with all the prophets, he explained to them the things concerning himself in all the scriptures. And they approached the village where they were going, and he acted as though he were going farther. But they urged him, saying, "Stay with us, for it is getting toward evening, and the day is now nearly over." So he went in to stay with them. When he had reclined at the table, he took the bread and blessed it, and breaking it, he began giving it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. That part there was what stuck out to me, that all of this time as they're journeying 17 miles, they have no idea who they're walking with and why. Was it to challenge them in believing the promises that God had set before them, like to lead them into this conviction of, oh my gosh, as my eyes are now opened, I doubted all of these promises. It was him. To trust that when he answers, when he speaks, it is. And we can count on it. And so as I just meditated on, then their eyes were opened as he took the bread and blessed it and broke it. And so if I apply that to my relationships with you, my relationships with my children, with the strangers on the road, as Jesus did, he loved to eat, and he spent most of his time breaking bread. A lot of his time, I won't say most of his time, but there's a significant thing that takes place as we commune with each other and we break bread. And so if I am purposeful in coming into these meals with my children, in these meals with you, in these meals with the people that the Lord brings to me, that as I break bread with them, that I reflect on what he's done. that I allow that power and that authority from that moment to do what it's going to do through that meal. That meal represents our salvation and the revelation of that salvation and the revelation that's going to continue to come from that salvation that we have received. Would you please distribute the elements? As we are indwelled by Jesus to take our rightful place as kings and priests, we bring heaven to earth. As we raise our minds, our hearts, and souls to heavenly places, as Bob likes to say, we leak Jesus. And so if we are purposeful to pause at every encounter, family, friends, strangers, to reflect on what he has done, to go up to heavenly places so that we can bring heaven here on earth, it will bring revelation in our relationships with each other. And we don't even have to try. We don't have to try to say the right words. We don't have to try to fix people. As we commune with him, heaven comes to earth. So I would just like to challenge you, whether it's an extra 10 minutes a day to commune with him in whatever way that looks like, for it to be intentional. And to bring communion into your relationships with each other, with your children, so that the revelation that you desire for them to receive, it can be received. Lord God, we praise you from the depths of our hearts for your love, for your Son, Jesus' sacrifice. We thank you for the salvation that empowers us as anointed ones to be kings and priests. David prophesied, saying, I saw the Lord always in my presence, for he is at my right hand, so that I will not be shaken. Therefore my heart was glad and my tongue exulted. Moreover, my flesh also will live in hope, because you will not abandon my soul to Hades, nor allow your Holy One to undergo decay. You have made known to me the ways of life. You will make me full of gladness with your presence. So my desire is for you to be in his presence in all of in all of the things that you do in your relationships with your children, in the relationships with your friends, your family, and that you bring heaven on earth as you commune with them and with him. So with this bread, we thank you for the breaking of your body. As we remember, may we represent the breaking in our own bodies as we die, so that you may live through us. And with this juice, we thank you for your blood that spilled out and covered us all. May we represent the sacrifice in our relationships as we extend your forgiveness to others and receive the forgiveness ourselves.